This is the main story of Zenless Zone Zero version 2.6. This is Gilded Carrot Day. It is basically the New Year celebration in ZZZ's lore and is celebrated in-game every year during this period. A few days before the celebration, Jane contacts you and brings you a special commission issued by a so-called rapidly rising individual from public security, who, later in the story, is revealed to be Seth's brother, Severian. But let's just call him our client for now. For context, recently there have been many cases of intelligent construct citizens, or simply the robots as I call them, suddenly losing control and causing troubles throughout the city. And our client, Severian, suspects that an illegal intelligent entity, or an AI as we call it, who is behind all the mess. So he has commissioned you to help with the investigation into this matter. Well, at this point, it is already super obvious that this villain AI has to be Yokai. If you still remember, it was revealed to us that Yokai, one of the 4 big AIs in the lore alongside Fairy, was one of the masterminds behind the antagonist in the last version 2.5. But again, our main characters don't know any of that yet, so let's be patient. You happen to have some time before Jane arrives and meet you to brief and provide you further instructions regarding the investigation. So, Fairy somehow recommends you to check out Angels of Delusion in 404 Lifehouse.
好像是南宫的声音。南宫，别唱这么大声，把铺子还我！土鸡马上就要到了，提前练习可是很重要的。我们。 对不起，这店长。抱歉，是我不小心。
没关系，
宝贝们，我找到你们说的那些唱片了。看来有特别的人到访。
Angels of Delusions is an idol group, which consists of Nan Gongyu, Aria, and Suna. Also, this is their manager, Cecilia. In general, this part of the story was just showing you what it's like in a new idol group and showing how cute the Angels of Delusions are. There are 4 key points from your interaction with them. 1. The group is going to have their first live performance on Gilded Carrot Day, but they seem to be struggling to gain enough popularity and are short on money. 2. Aria appears to be in some possession of an AI assistant software called the Wishing Sprite, which she often consults for guidance in life. You immediately find this suspicious and wonder whether it could be connected to the secret illegal AI that has been sabotaging social order. However, after speaking with Aria and examining the Wishing Sprite itself, you find no evidence to support this suspicion. 3. Aria also claimed that the Wishing Sprite recommended a holo commission with a large commission fee to her, and Aria and Suna decided to take on the commission to solve the group's financial problems. 4. Cecilia, the group's manager, is secretly a retired legendary celebrity diva known as Lady Cersei, who once had fame comparable to Astra's. Every year on Gilded Carrot Day, a year-like ceremony is held, during which a celebrity singer is invited to perform on stage. This time, Cecilia was invited to make a comeback performance, but she rejected the offer, for now. She briefly revealed her backstory. She retired after developing PTSD from the Hollow disaster years ago, and during her final performances, she also hired Aria as a voice double. Now, she thinks that the public will humiliate her for the voice double incident, so she continues to hide herself. And she also never managed to reveal her true identity to Aria due to the shame. She also asked you to keep it a secret for her, and promised that she will reveal to Aria herself someday. You head back home and immediately ask Fairy about the Wishing Sprite, but oddly, she claims to know nothing about it, and suspiciously refuses to investigate further, something she would normally do without hesitation. Just then, Jane arrives at the store to brief you further on the investigation. She also brings a new companion this time, a new public security officer that we haven't met before, Cecilia. Through a phone call from Severian, who still insists on remaining anonymous to the main characters, he reports that, in addition to the mysterious villain AI sabotaging social order, he has received a criminal threat warning that something significant will occur during the Gilded Carrot Day ceremony. He also claims that they have managed to track the AI's location inside Lemnian Hollow and requests your help to investigate. And Cecilia is the subordinate he has assigned to assist you in the investigation. The next day, Cecilia reveals that she has hired a skilled Hollow operator. That operator is none other than Aria and Suna. It is then revealed that the Hollow commission Aria accepted earlier was actually issued by Cecilia herself. With that, she wishes you good luck finding clues about the AI villain and takes her leave. Throughout this Hollow operation, you do not encounter any illegal intelligent entity or yokai, otherwise the story would have ended by now. Instead, the team stumbles upon two hostile robots that closely resemble Aria. Gradually, the truth is revealed. Much like Banyue, Aria was also an intelligent tactical construct once used in combat, skilled in archery and in deceiving foes through illusory forms. After being discarded long ago, she fell into a prolonged dormant state. She eventually awakened after overhearing Lady Cersei singing. Drawn to it, she began mimicking her voice and later became her voice double for the time. However, as a former killer robot, Aria has struggled with an ongoing existential crisis since her awakening, constantly searching for her true role in life. She has always looked up to Lady Cersei, but as mentioned earlier, Lady Cersei carries troubles of her own. As a result, Aria remains unaware that her manager Cecilia is in fact Lady Cersei herself. Furthermore, the recent encounter of the two hostile robots reignites Aria's doubts about her identity, leading her to consider leaving Angels of Delusions in order to keep Nangong and Suna safe. This decision is ultimately stopped by everyone else, who recognize it as a clear case of overthinking. The team returns to 404 Lifehouse and begins planning the distribution of the tickets. One of the recipients is Vesper, another intelligent construct idol who is their senior in the performing industry and also Lady Cersei's backup performer for the Gilded Carrot Day celebration. They also give a ticket to another NPC named Xiaoyan, who had been their manager back then when they were still trainees. However, as the conversation continues, Xiaoyan accidentally reveals Cecilia's true identity as Lady Cersei, leaving Aria deeply troubled once again. To help calm her down, the team heads to Reverb Arena to sell the tickets first before returning. At Reverb Arena, you run into Caesar and Bernice. To help with the ticket sales and boost the group's popularity, they suggest and strongly urge Suna, the composer, to perform a teaser of a song on the spot to attract new fans.
别怕，大家一起欢迎我们妄想天使的冰淇大人！就让我铺下所有的经过，用音符给回忆上色，你会发现，现实间那些转折轻轻陨落，公园的快乐，热爱的炙热，思绪翻涌着倾泻而出的源于爱的那首歌。
Suna's performance goes well, but Aria is still troubled. As the team is about to leave, Aria secretly tells you that she has made up her mind to leave the group. She claims that Suna's solo performance has proven that the team can thrive without her, and that leaving would also prevent her from potentially hurting her friends. Back at 404 Lifehouse, Cecilia is informed that Aria and the team have learned the truth about her, leaving her speechless. Just then, a commotion breaks out outside. Seems like the entire 6th Street internet connection has been cut off, and residents are also receiving gibberish spam messages from an unknown sender. You immediately head back to your base to check the HDD, only to discover that it has already been hacked and taken over by the AI yokai.
哥哥 ，Fairy， 家里出什么事了？小六子，开门！
指令错误。
指令？工作室哪来的指令？
灵，你终于回来了！野蛮的低等生命！
发生什么事？这是什么？
简而言之，有个陌生智能体在入侵 HDD。枢纽节点攻克中，全线解锁进度65.8%。
陌生智能体入侵？那 Fairy 呢？
主人，我在这里。
主人，多么自甘堕落的称呼！只是这样的进攻，就能让你的数据流如此慌不择路吗？自诩最强的 Fairy。全部安装已完成，游开，向您问好。
Yokai then engages in a conversation with you, while Fairy tries to reclaim the system and remove Yokai from it. Yokai reveals to the main characters what we have known from the beginning, where he has been the one pulling all the strings. Behind Lock Spring, the 2 robots that resemble Aria, and all the chaos that has occurred in the city. Through his words, it becomes clear that his goal is to spread propaganda, encouraging robots to overthrow humans and other life forms. Before being kicked out by Fairy, he threatens you that he is planning to act on Gilded Carrot Day, just as your previous client Severian had warned. Things have gotten a bit out of hand, and Angels of Delusion are going to have a rehearsal as Gilded Carrot Day approaches. You worry that Aria might also be affected by yokai, since she was recently distressed and, as a robot, is vulnerable to his attacks. You decide to call Jane for help and ask her to join you during the rehearsal. Only one day remains until Gilded Carrot Day, and the rehearsal goes well overall, except for Aria. Aria finally crashes out. She confronts Cecilia, exposing her true identity and speaking openly about her existential crisis and confusion over her real self. She then storms out and once again reaches for her wishing sprite for help. However, Yokai has taken control of the wishing sprite. He deceives Aria, claiming that being aggressive and violent towards humans is her only option, and urges her to go against you. Unable to accept this and torn between both sides, Aria decides to walk away and enter a long slumber. Unfortunately, she is still in Yokai's hands. He takes control of her body, returns and attacks everyone. With Jane's help, the team manages to knock Yokai out of Aria, but Aria still does not wake up. Jane wants to detain Aria in this state and bring her to public security, but Nangong and Suna firmly refuse. As the two sides argue, Fairy contacts the previous mysterious client, Severian, who is also Jane's superior. He convinces Jane and grants permission for you to take Aria back to your base and attempt to awaken her with Fairy's help. In the end, with Fairy, Nangong and Suna, their combined efforts successfully bring Aria back. During the process of Fairy restoring Aria from within her systems, it is revealed that Fairy was the wishing sprite all along, before Yokai took control of it. She gives Aria a new command: keep singing and let new Eridu sink into World of Delusions, urging her to continue performing with her friends in Angels of Delusion. And this hints at an unrevealed connection between Fairy and Aria in the past, which will be revealed in the end of the story, don't worry. Aria wakes up. She finally understands that her past is not a burden, but a collection of memories with value. Memories that can transform into something bright. She is now free from the existential crisis that once troubled her. She then speaks with Cecilia once more, and the two of them finally open up about their feelings and their past. As mentioned before, Aria has always looked up to Lady Cersei, as it was her singing that awakened Aria long ago. Lady Cersei also reveals that she feels the same way, where Aria was the one who helped her heal her trauma when she mimicked Lady Cersei's voice and sang in her place. Seeing that things have been sorted out, you return home, only to be greeted by the previously mysterious public security client himself, Severian, who finally reveals everything about himself to the main characters. He explained that, through his investigation, he discovered a connection between Fairy and yokai, and he initially intended to bring Fairy back to public security, believing that this would help counter yokai's plan during Gilded Carrot Day. That idea is quickly rejected and you refuse. Eventually, both sides come to an agreement, which you will continue working with Severian and public security to protect the city from whatever yokai is planning to do the next day. You and your sibling discuss yokai's next possible target and conclude that it could be Vesper, the robot scheduled to perform at the Gilded Carrot Day celebration. Turns out, she is indeed yokai's target, as a scene is revealed in which yokai secretly contacts Vesper. But let's pretend that our main characters don't know that yet. You inform Aria of your suspicions and rush to meet Vesper. Vesper openly reveals everything. This time, however, things are different. As a robot, Vesper was not really taken over by yokai. Instead, she chose to partner with him, having been persuaded to turn against humans. She had grown tired of being used as a top propaganda tool, forced to perform merely as a substitute for Lady Cersei's comeback. Luckily, Aria is not convinced at all. To show Vesper that this mindset is wrong, Aria enters Vesper's internal system, where the two engage in a battle.
看来你已经准备好了。
对。
那么，欢迎来到我的音乐现场。
After beating the crap out of Vesper, she gives up and is captured by public security and Tops. During this time, you were also introduced to a new character, Promea, who is Zhao's co-worker in the Krampus Compliance Authority. With the performer for the Gilded Carrot Day celebration once again unavailable, the organizers have no choice but to invite Lady Cersei herself, and she ultimately agrees to perform. She also invites the Angels of Delusions to share the same stage with her, but they bravely decline the prestigious offer, believing that it would be better for them to perform where they truly belong, which is at 404 Lifehouse as originally planned. Gilded Carrot Day is finally underway. It turns out that Yokai's plan for disruption was simply to take over the main broadcasting services to spread his propaganda. Although it was scuffed, you still managed to redirect the broadcasting channels back to their original content, completely stopping yokai from interfering with the ceremony. That night, Cecilia, now back as Lady Cersei, performs on the ceremony stage in Valium Heights, while Angels of Delusion perform at 404 Lifehouse to a large crowd of fans. Both sides perform the same song, marking Gilded Carrot Day and the team's debut live performance as a complete success.
赶上了！
还好没有错过最精彩的部分。
要点亮起醉灯了！
不算无聊，
回去吧，
注意警戒，
一切正常。
七岁灯已经点亮了吗？
我会记得这个特节日的。
Just as the story is about to end, it has been revealed that long ago, when Aria was still a combat machine, Fairy was actually her tactical commander. After they parted ways and Aria went to sleep, possibly due to the lingering attachment, Fairy managed to reconnect with the new Aria, now serving as an AI assistant wishing sprite, providing her with commands and guidance in life. Also, we get to see two new unknown characters discussing about Porceloid fragments, Void Hunter, and the Creator. This marks the end of the Summarize 2.6 story, and I hope you enjoyed.